Hello, everybody. This is Wow Man, and welcome to all the Planco fans and friends out there. We are kind of wrapping up my Star Wars park. All I have left to build is this lower left-hand corner of the park here. And specifically today, we're going to take a little tour of Galaxy's Edge, or the planet of Batuu. What this is inspired from the Disney Star Wars lands that are being built right now. This is what they called it. I used concept art to come up with a big part of the design and look and feel of this land. And I'm really kind of glad on how it came out. As a little insert of what some of the concept art looked like that inspired this land comes up, I just want to make sure I give a big shout out to all the people that posted stuff out in the workshop, because I would not have been able to build the land, or at least the big e-ticket ride in this land, without all of the workshop items out there. I especially want to give a big shout out to one of my Planco friends, S. Dan Wolf. I was talking to him about this land and what I was going to do with it, and he actually took some incentive and built one whole street of this land for me that we'll take a better look at later in a more detailed manner. But his design style and his ideas of how he built this first street gave me some really good inspiration on how to build the rest of this area as well. This land is mostly comprised of vendor or marketing streets in this land, but it also does have a little hub area, a little plaza area, and a couple rides and attractions. This area right here that I'm pointing to is the main entrance to the main street that I built. Kind of goes into the hub. It also has an entrance here for the Jedi Trainer Coaster, which is inside the Jedi Temple. This is actually the first ride I built in this park, and originally it was accessed from the Main Street Coruscant area, but since I added this Galaxy's Edge street, you now access this ride, and it's now become part of Galaxy's Edge. Disney has since called this area publicly the Black Spire Outpost. So I guess that's what this is. My spires aren't black because you can't have black terraforming rocks in this game yet. But, it's basically the same look and feel. You can see all these spires that I used to have faux fronts to the buildings. Some of the spires are on top of the buildings to give that forced perspective look when you're down at ground level. There's a flat ride area back here. Another entrance exit to this land that goes into the what will be the Death Star area, and off in that big blank area on the right, that's where the last land will be built. There are some really neat looking sight lines in this park when you're down at guest level, and if you keep track of this thread, I'll be posting pictures that show some of those sight lines and what it looks like to be down at ground level, and make it look like, with the forced perspective, how tall and never ending these spires might be. I'm going to zoom around a little bit here and line up the camera so that we could walk in through the main entryway from the Coruscant Street. So that's what this is. You can see there's a large tower archway, bridge type archway that you walk through to get into this land. The idea of this street area is that there's a lot of merchants and vendors and food sellers and animals and just a hustle bustle of an outpost in the outer rim planets of the Star Wars universe. You can see there's some maggots hanging up here being sold. There's some fruits and vegetables growing from hangers above the pathways. There are carpets and rugs hanging over here. Some concept art that I used to kind of give the look and feel of what this street would look like. And it's fairly shaded well so that the guests would be happy in the bright sunshine. Some dangerous beasts back here. Again, downloaded stuff from the workshop. I really do like that workshop is available out there. So as we walk down the street a little further, I'll scan around, and you can see that there are a few more merchants back here. Some of them are real, some of them are just scenery stuff that I plop down. And in the center here, I call this the hub. There's the X-Wing trainer queue. There's like a fruit or vegetable vendor here. And then this is the street that S. Dan Wolf built for me. The great thing about these streets and the way this whole land looks is it's just a very eclectic collection of virtually anything. There's rustic stuff, there's space stuff, there's animals, there's stone and wood and pipes and wires and cables. It's just a very cool looking, busy, always finding something new if you were a guest walking down this street. That was kind of the idea and feel I at least wanted to get out of it from what I saw from the concept work. Back here is kind of a quiet second entrance to the street, or an overflow exit, I guess, if crowds get too busy. It was just a way to connect this land right to the center of the Coruscant Main Street. But let me just switch to the night view, because this land really comes alive and I think really has an eerie back alley feeling when you turn off the lights and use the game lighting. So you can see S. Dan Wolf did an awesome job with this street build he did for me right here. One thing I did change though is I kind of drilled a hole through one of the walls he had, and I put a huge eating facility over here. So there's several restaurant storefronts in here. There's a store front and lighting. It's just a way for people to get off the street and kind of go and have like a place to eat and rest and cool off. So you could see what this kind of looks like. Now I did use some concept art here to try to build a little souvenir stand. Again, this concept art is totally overloaded with stuff. I didn't go that far out, but I kind of used the same general idea of having rocket ships hanging and stuff like that. You know, it's just the game doesn't have enough pieces, or at least I don't have the skills to build something at that finite of a detail. Going back down the street that S. Dan Wolf built for me, you can see there's some creature cages here. There are entertainers. There are people milling around in the dark corners of the street. And again, just really love the way this thing looks and feels. Can you tell that? I keep saying it. Going back down just for a quick look at this street at nighttime so you could kind of see what it feels like. Hey, there's Gulpy. I always like Gulpy. I love when Gulpy ends up in my videos. And you know, again, there's the different veggies growing up there that you could pick and buy. And that's pretty much it for this street. We'll turn back around now and head back towards the hub. We'll kind of pass right through the hub on this flyby and go into what I call the plaza. The main thing in this plaza area is the queue line for the Battle of the First Order, which is the biggest e-ticket ride in this land. And you'll see more on that later on, and you'll see more on it if you follow the thread when I start posting details on it. But basically it's an inside track ride where the Resistance is battling the First Order. It's quite an exciting ride with tons of special effects, tons of triggers, and I did a lot of post-editing with audio and sound effects to make it as exciting as I possibly could without it being an actual real ride. Just glancing up here, you could kind of see this is that forced perspective idea I was talking about earlier, where you could see the spires sticking up above the top of the buildings from ground level. And again, this whole little plaza area was kind of built with the idea from this concept art that you're seeing right now. I really tried to learn and practice making round structures with round roofs, and I think I finally figured out the secret of how to do it, at least a little easier than I have in the past, which you'll see a little bit more of later. There's a little food court here and some restrooms. As you go through the plaza, that's an exit that will go off to the Death Star area. Again, more towering bridges or towering arches as you continue down this third street. This last street is where you have the entrance to the queue for the Batuu Whirl, which is a flat ride that you'll see in a minute. It's a very narrow alley type street. First, here, I'll jump inside real quick just to show you what the queue building looks like. You know, it's not really all that far out decorated, but just to kind of show you what it looks like. I again used billboards for all the ground textures and a lot of the wall textures in this land, like I did in the Tatooine area that you saw already. Go down this little alley a little further here, and there's the queue line again, and you could go out into the back corner of this land where there is this flat ride. Off to the right here through the little tunnel, if you happen to catch a glimpse of it, that's the tunnel that will lead to the final land that I'll be building in this park in the coming months. With the lava planet, I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but that's what will fill up that back corner. So zipping back down the streets here and into the plaza area, I'm going to kind of go through the walls here, and as I go through the walls, I'm going to show you some concept art of what the Disney First Order ride is supposed to look like on the inside, and you'll see I kind of try getting that same look and feel here. This is just one little teaser in the corner. I'm not going to show you a lot because I'll save that for later on when you actually see more details on the ride, but I think that this turned out really, really well as far as an attraction goes. So as I zoom out, here's what it looks like at night, and you can see what this corner of the park looks like right now. And let me know if you have any questions, and keep watching the thread. Hit like if you like this video and like what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys later with some more updates. Bye.